So welcome to EDUC 6063, Advanced Educational Research, which is the continuing class for your foundational class that you took a couple of semesters ago. In this video, I'd like to just kind of introduce us to our Canvas course and walk through the Canvas course just to become more familiar with the layout of the course as well as some of the assignments. Although there'll be more detail as you progress through each weekly module. So let me go and share our Canvas course. And so let's go to the home page on our Canvas course, and this will give us the overview of all of the different modules. And you are probably already really familiar with Canvas. I will say that we try to be consistent with the way that we develop courses, but there are probably some differences per course. And so it takes you a little time to get familiar and adjusted to those differences. If for this course, I would suggest to start with this module entitled Begin Here. And it will be a resource module for you. The two current resources that are in the module right now are the syllabus for the course. And certainly I encourage you to access the syllabus and kind of go through the different contextual factors of the course, as well as the assignments that are listed there, although the assignments are also listed throughout the course in each of the weekly modules. Also, there are some tips to successful online learning in the syllabus that I think are really good tips, and I would encourage you to maybe look through those, although you probably already have a little bit of a routine down, but there are always some ways to refine that routine and maybe become even more successful with online learning. I know it can become a challenge, particularly when we talk about discussions and we try to do certain levels of collaboration regarding online learning, but it's doable. And so maybe access those tips in the syllabus and take a look at that. You also see this APA citation tutorial, Purdue OWL, which you may be already familiar with this, does a really good job of concisely putting together the most recent APA citation formatting tools. Although one of the books that is required for this course, if you didn't previously purchase it for the foundational course, is the 7th edition to the APA formatting. And I would strongly encourage you to get that anyhow, just to have as a resource as you walk through any grad level program in education. Let's look at kind of the way that the course is as it unfolds. I will kind of go through this slowly, and then I want to go and open up a weekly module, and kind of explain what to expect within each weekly module, although they're obviously going to be different. But in the first week, we're going to kind of go back and review some of the things that you've already learned, hopefully between quantitative and qualitative research. Those are your two primary research methods, although you can do a mixed method and kind of combine both of those. You already are probably familiar with the different kind of strengths and weaknesses of those. And so this first week module should be a really bit of a review just to get us caught up and our feet back underneath us in regards to educational research. You'll see the assignments that are listed there, as well as the day that they are due and the points that are associated with those assignments, which should again be consistent with the assignments that are outlined in the syllabus. Week 2, we're going to be looking at different research model designs. At that point, there are several in your text that are listed in the different chapters, and I'll ask you to pick a couple of those and look at those, analyze those, and maybe they're a type of research design that you might want to test or experiment with. And that's kind of week 2. Week 3, we want to look at the data collection process and then interpreting that data and analyzing the data, whether it be quantitative or qualitative data. And then week 4 is about the reporting and evaluating the data. When you report the data, and this is going to be a big component in this class, when you report the data, what's it saying? Did it address your original research question? Or did it address your hypothesis, depending on whether it was a quantitative or qualitative study? And then week 5, we're going to specifically focus on action research because I feel a lot of you will probably be performing an action research study, which is one that you can do as a teacher on your campus, given certain questions that you have to address or certain concerns or issues that might be on your campus at the time. So action research really lends itself as a nice complementary research method for a teacher who is working in a classroom and on a campus with students. And then the two big assignments that I want us to start with, so they're due. You'll see them in week 6 and 7, but really we're going to begin with these at the beginning of the semester. Is a grant writing assignment. And in this module, you'll see another video that explains the different stipulations of the assignment and more specifically, but thinking in terms of writing a grant and accessing monies that could be utilized to support whatever it is that you're trying to address on your campus. So there are a lot of unused and unclaimed grant resources that really just need someone to write towards that grant and explain how that money would be utilized. And a lot of times that money would be accessible. So I want us this to be a very practical assignment. And then week 7 is really a continuation of what you created and started in your foundational course with chapters 1, 2, and 3 of a research proposal. And then we're going to add chapters 4 and 5 and then submit it for publication. Now, both of these, the grant writing as well as the submission for publication, the grant may not be approved and the publication may not be approved within the time frame that you're in this course. But I think these are two very practical assignments that I would encourage us to write towards. Both of these are writing exercises. And as you watch the video, and there's a video that explains the stipulations for the publication as well, you'll see that whatever research you're doing can probably fit both of these writing exercises. Like, for instance, if you're doing action research that's collecting data to solve a particular problem on campus, you'll probably find that that data would also be able to be utilized to write a grant or try to access monies from a grant that might address the same exact problem. So I'm hoping that the grant writing and the submission for publication really complement our two complementary assignments, but they're the bigger assignments that are associated with this course that we'll get started with at the very beginning in week 1, even though they're not due until week 6 and 7. And then, of course, week 8 is kind of a wrap-up week, really to reevaluate what's the purpose behind research and education. We don't just research to have a title or to be published, but there's got to be some value to it. And so that's really kind of the course, designed to be a very practical course as we progress from week to week. So let's take a look real quickly at just 1 week. It'll be a little bit different per week, but we'll access week 1. And this first module, which I call the content module, really opens up and gives you a little bit of an overview of whatever topic that we'll be covering that week. And then it also gives you some what I like to call essential questions. These questions, I'm not asking you to answer these, but what I am asking you to do is reflect as we go through the material. And if you're not able to answer these by the time that we have concluded this module, or maybe the course, because some of these could be expansive essential questions that aren't immediately answered just after a little bit of a content exposure, excuse me, then we probably need to reevaluate. So these essential questions are that. They are essential as we move forward and we are associated with the content and we engage with different materials in the course. And then at the bottom of the content module, you will see kind of a weekly agenda or a weekly timeline. And in that weekly timeline will be different links. It could be links to videos. These two have the instructional videos about the grant writing assignment, as well as the instructional video about the research assignment submitting to publication. And then it also has a link to different assignments that are due that week. Sometimes it'll be a link to additional reading or video that might help contextualize some of the material that would be covered in that week. So that's really kind of what we'll be looking at each week. Also in this week, that now it's not in here yet because I haven't had a chance to develop them yet, but there'll be a weekly video that kind of walks through each week as well. There'll be much more brief than this video, this introductory video, but it will give you a little bit of an overview of kind of what to expect, what to read, what to think about, and then some questions that you might consider as you move forward with the content. So that's really the weekly modules. Like I say, each week's going to be a little bit different because it covers a different topic, and I'm not going to go through each week because that would make this video way too long. But that is kind of the course in a nutshell. And I will say that it's a robust course. I know we're asking quite a bit from you, but I think it's a relevant and a very practical exercise in the grant writing as well as writing to a publication. So I hope you find the value in that. And I look forward to kind of working with you and journeying with you in the next 8 weeks. And certainly, like I said, there's probably a good chance that the grant wouldn't be approved, nor the publication will be approved within the 8 weeks that we're working together. So I plan on journeying with you beyond the 8 weeks if that's what you choose to do. So look at it as a very practical course for you. Utilize it with what you're doing currently in the field, and I look forward to a really good 8 weeks with you. So let me know if you have any questions.